All right, affiliate owners, 24.2 is here, and I'm really excited for this one. Just like last week, we're going to approach it the same way. We're going to look at heat times, equipment and setup, and then our people. So when it comes to heat times, we've got those two buckets. We are either baking the warm-up into the heat time, or we're having them warm up prior to. So let's look at baking it in. So we're going to start off with a brief, call athletes and judges over, review the workout, review the standards, then go into a general warm-up. From there, we're going to go into setup. Typically in class, this would be our specific warm-up time, probably be longer. We'd be diving deep into technique work. Today, we're running heats though. Athletes need to understand that, right? So we'll go into a quick setup. They'll be able to get their station set up the way they want it, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. And then we're going to do the workout. The workout itself, it's 20 minutes. It's a little on the longer side. So if we add this all up, it's going to be about 35 minutes, right? Now, if we have an area where athletes can warm up prior to, we can cut that time down just a little bit. So again, a brief, about 3 minutes. Quick setup here, because most likely in their warm-up area, you will have some additional equipment for them. They will be a little more warm and prepped than if we needed to bake it in, right? So a very quick setup. They're just right at their station. They get a few things, and then we set that clock, 20-minute workout. So we're looking at about 25-minute heats, give or take a few minutes for that one, right? Now, when it comes to your setup, so there is no set floor plan for this workout. You can set it up how you would like, keeping in mind a couple things. One, athletes are going to want to stay close to their equipment. They're not going to want to have to walk all the way across the room. So we're going to set up so that they can be close to their barbell and their rower kind of at the same time. Now, we need to take our space into account. So if we have something like a really long, narrow space, it might work well to have the rowers all set up in the same fashion and the barbells kind of directly behind it. That way, when someone gets off the rower, they go to their barbell for their deadlifts. They can then even step over to the other side if you would like, have them do their jump rope, and then go back to the rower. So they've created a little bit of this kind of circle, right? Other option, if we have a more square space, we could do a very similar setup. We have the rowers along the edges and the barbells down the center. I do like this option if we are able to, because it does create some nice lanes for coach to be able to easily move through the room to get to people. The other option is if you set your barbell perpendicular to your rower. You will need to play with this a little bit to see if it makes sense for you to be able to do this. Does it take up too much space for you? But your layout is going to help to determine how many athletes you can fit on the floor, right? We want to keep them close, but we also don't want to choose an option that just really cuts down the number of people we can fit in a heat. So I would play around with it in your space, see what makes the most sense, and then go from there. Now, when it comes to our people, last week we talked about our coaches. Yes, they're going to be actively coaching on the floor, right? We have a barbell movement with lots of technique there. We've got rowing, which is very technical, right? There are lots of things that we're going to need to keep our eyes on, right? So we've got our coach. We've also got our judges for this one. Make sure during that brief, we are very specific with the standards that we are looking for, so that we are making sure that the judges understand what they are looking for. And then this week, we've got a little bit of an equipment change potentially, right? We might need to change those weights for the deadlifts. My suggestion, I would set up bars that have the male and the female weights on them ready to go with additional plates throughout the gym, so that if someone goes to that station and needs to quickly change them out, if they're going from an RX barbell to a scaled barbell or vice versa, they have plates right there to choose from. That way they're not having to walk all the way across the room, grab the plates, bring them back, right, in between every single heat. We can save some time if we scatter those plates all throughout, or we have stacks throughout the room. Then at the end of the heat, they can reset the barbell, or the next person coming in can go to a barbell that is already set for them, right? So this is going to require a little bit more of communication in terms of equipment and setup. Talk with your coaches, let them know your plan. They are going to help you to run a very smooth heat. And remember, smooth means people get to enjoy themselves more. So guys, get after it. It's a little bit of a longer workout, but make a game plan for your equipment, talk with your coaches, and have fun.